a little off kilter. That's fine. Oh, nope. I'm trying to get the cutting board and me, and it's way more difficult than it sounds. Oh, I'm so far away. I don't like this. There we go. I know the top of my head is probably all cut off, but I can tell.
No, actually, you're center frame.
Really?
Yep.
Well. Okay. Cool. Can you see the cutting board?
Can. Cool. Perfect right there.
Lovely. Alright. So let me know when people start showing up. Also, can you open up the PDF of the recipe?
So,
Start boiling water.
is this because you need it?
Yeah. Ooh, I see somebody. Is it you?
Technically, I don't know.
Doesn't show you who's on there, just who chats in?
Yep.
That's done. Hello, viewer. Whoever you are, please chat in and say hi so I know who's here. I'm just salting water. It's super interesting. Oh, jeez.
You post on PoleChef?
I posted on my page. You mean the recipe?
No, just
Just in general.
someone chatted in.
Who we got?
It's a spicy meatball.
So, hi. Welcome back to PoleChef. This one is going to be short by comparison because this recipe is really...
We're not doing duck.
We're not doing fucking duck. This one is really short. There's no meat in this one. I know, scandalous. But it is going to be extremely cheesy because we've got
Ooh.
3 types of cheese that are that's going into this pasta. I am heating up water over there, and while I'm doing that, I'm just going to grate up some Parmesan. The recipe that we're doing tonight is from one of our Dinnerly boxes. So it's a creamy tortelloni with peas and panko, I think is the actual title. But basically it's pasta with crunchy panko breadcrumbs that have been toasted with garlic. And I have done a thing with the garlic where I got black garlic, which for those of you who are not familiar, is very pungent and is very creamy. So basically it's made from like whole clove garlic. I'm sure you could probably make it with like regular bulbs, but traditionally it's made from like a garlic that's like a whole, this thing is 1 clove. And you ferment it for an insane amount of time. And then when it comes out like whole on its own, bottom still on, but it's like a little squishy, like it's definitely very squishy. It's not like falling apart and mushy, but so the garlic in this recipe, I am going to sub out for this black garlic. So it's going to be a little bit sweeter, a little bit more mellow, a little less tangy and sharp. So we'll see how that turns out. It may end horribly. Who knows? That's how I'm deviating from the recipe this time.
Deviation from the recipe.
So, my least favorite prep step has got to be grating Parmesan cheese. Mostly because I hate grating cheese.
Great.
It's not great. It's not great.
Love Tsunami says, what's poppin', baby?
What up? What I would really love is one of those like handheld squeezy, rotatey cheese grater things like they have at Olive Garden, where you just like crunch down on a piece of cheese and just like crank it until the waiter gets mad at you. So I don't have to do this and potentially shave off a knuckle. And I can have as much shredded cheese as I want. If you can't find or don't have fresh Parmesan, you can get the stuff that's already pre-shredded. Don't get the grated shit, because that's shredded and grated are two different things. Grated is the powdered, the shaky cheese in the plastic can thing. You can get grated because it's bigger pieces. It tends to melt a little better, but it's very preferable when you're doing a cream sauce to use fresh cheese because it's a lot softer and it's a lot creamier. It won't be so oily. This cheese gets dry over time.
Well, Tsunami says you could use those things that you can get with a mandolin, the little plug thingy, and plug the cheese into that handguard thingy. I don't know the professional term. You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to have one of those. It's good if you have like big blocks of stuff, like veggies, or like if I had a big fucking hunk of Parmesan. The problem is that with these little pieces, I can't really get a hold of it, and the spikes will end up on the grater before the rest of the cheese block is. But yes, those things are very handy because they protect your hands. What is your guys' least favorite thing to prep? That's the question of the moment. Now my fingers are starting to get sore. I should not do that left-handed. That's a terrible idea.
Missed the best part.
Missed the best part? I know. Where I throw cheese all over my kitchen. Sorry, guys. We'll get this down eventually. Well, eventually we'll have like actual cameras, and then I won't have to worry about doing this on my phone. But yeah, so carrots. I need to hear more about why you hate carrots.
Oh, Tsunami, you have been chosen. Why do you hate carrots?
Tsunami, why?
It's mainly the peeling and the washing.
That's fair. So fun fact, it is actually a lot healthier to eat fresh carrots without peeling them. And if you wash them, it's enough. As long as you get them clean, it's fine.
Crashman55 says hi.
Hi, Crashman. Oh, jeez. We're gonna need a bigger bowl. Because apparently shredded cheese takes up way more room than just the blocks. Always have more bowls handy.
What are we drinking tonight?
We are drinking Blue Moon Honey Wheat because I drank all my Guinness and my left hand, and this is...
You drank your left hand?
I drank my whole left hand, the whole thing. My preference though for the Blue Moons, I really like the mango one. I don't know why. I shouldn't, because I don't honestly really think it works that well, but I can't. It's so good. Shouldn't work, but it does. I should probably turn the water back on.
Mango beer is delicious.
Agreed.
Law of Tsunami.
Yes.
He's doubting.
Oh, rude. Rude and unfair.
I mean, she loves you. Please stay tuned.
Don't leave me. I didn't mean it. This is the last one, I swear, and then I'm not grating cheese at all for the rest of this fucking episode. This is why I hate grating cheese, because it takes forever. And I have to do it slowly towards the end when the pieces get small, otherwise I will literally take off a knuckle. And obviously I need a new zester because this handle keeps trying to pop itself off. Okay, all the cheese done got grated.
$500 and she shreds her hand.
Sure, $500 will pay for that ambulance ride.
No.
No, probably not. Every little ounce. Waste not, want not. Okay, so we got the cheese shredded. Put this away. Do you have the thing up?
The recipe?
Yes.
I thought you had the recipe.
Oh no, we don't have the recipe.
How does one go to
Well, shit.
Alright, what do you want to do?
Well, I have to boil the water and put the pasta in, and the water's not boiled yet, so I'm gonna wait on that. What's after that? Toast the breadcrumbs?
Did you peel and finally chop 2 teaspoons of garlic?
That's cute. 2 teaspoons. Psh. So, okay. So the next bit. This is squishy and could very easily be made into more of a paste. I am going to attempt to mince it into very small pieces because I know that half of this is going to go in with the breadcrumbs and the other half is going to go in the sauce. So I'm going to just cut them up and then do half and half. What'd you guys tell him to do?
The viewer of the stream right now is Law of Tsunami.
That's it?
He sent me the dinner card.
Thank you. You are an angel. That's fantastic. Thanks. It's not. Do the thing. There we go. Will it? No, it doesn't like it when you rotate. Your phone is weird. I got it. Okay. So, yeah, so you
Probably print that out.
I did last time, but Steve was taking a nap, so I didn't want to bug him. So this is a slice of black garlic. I'm going to come in real close. So black garlic, this is like a little slice. It kind of looks like Jell-O. Like in its consistency, it's very like floppy and soft. But it will slice into pieces, so I'm just going to chop it real fucking fine. Because that's what they said to do. Now I know from science that garlic, when it's not black garlic, when it's regular garlic, is much sturdier. It's not so soft. So when I try and toast it with like the breadcrumbs, like I know they want me to, it will crisp up. This will probably not do that, but I don't have an infinite amount of experience cooking with black garlic. Really, the most experience I've had using black garlic in food is making like a black garlic aioli, which is fucking amazeballs, but does not involve cooking of any sort. So we shall see how this goes. And it's kind of sticking to the edge of the knife, so I'm just going to scrape it off a little bit. Okay, cool. So I'm going to put these back in the thing. Okay, after garlic is... okay. So sticky. Oh, see, the bad thing about, using a phone is that it locks on you like that. Okay. Yeah. So now we're going to go to the stove and pretty much stay there. Fantastic. All right. Stove cam.
There's a dog.
Oh, no. There's a dog. Oliver. Hi, pup. Doggo. Alright. So now we get to stove cam. Hopefully my phone will behave itself. Okay. This one you don't really have to pay attention to because that's literally just boiling water.
If you do pay attention, it'll never boil.
Never. Don't watch it. You can't watch it. Neener, neener. So, now I'm going to turn this other one up to about medium. And then I'm going to put in...
Love Shadami asks a question.
Yes, what's your question?
Is instant ramen a good replacement for making proper pasta noodles in a pinch?
You know, they're really... I'm going to say yeah. Because instant ramen noodles cook really quickly. They're not exactly really... They're kind of... I don't know. I don't want to say that they're like really bad for you, even though I'm sure they're not great for you.
So much
comparatively. So much salt. All the salt. I am going to turn the fan on low though, so I apologize if we lose any audio. But that's not good enough. Here we go. Alright, so while this is heating up, panko, garlic, oil, that's it. Cool. So I'm going to use extra virgin olive oil. Yeah, because I'm on selfie cam, this is going to be backwards.
No, it's actually right.
Oh shit. Wow, good on you, Twitch. So I'm just going to do like a drizzle, kind of cover most of the bottom of the pan, let that heat up.
Should have done a smiley face.
I should have done a smiley face. So once this gets to be kind of easily runny, I'm going to go ahead and put in the half of this chopped garlic and the panko breadcrumbs. They sent me less panko breadcrumbs because they thought I was a bitch. So I happen to have panko breadcrumbs and extra cream cheese. So I'll have extra crunchy things and extra sauce. And here is our pasta water boiling. So these are going to go right into that. Slowly. Yeah, and all at once. Bam. Cool. This is one of the things that I do really love about having an induction cooktop, is that if I spill stuff, I can still wipe it up easily later. So that may boil over and I may regret that decision and have needed to use another pan, but that is future Lana's problem. Crank this up just a tiny bit. So it's still on medium, but not, yeah, see it's a little more quick to run now. So I'm just trying to coat the bottom of the pan with it. And one of the ways that you can test to see if your oil is hot enough is to use a little bit of flour and sprinkle it into your oil. If you see it, you guys are a little too far away to see it, but if you see it hit the flour and like immediately start to sizzle, that's how you know it's heating up. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a piece of garlic and drop that bitch in there.
Any tips for preventing boil over?
Boil over, not the wooden spoon thing. That shit doesn't work. Watch your pot. Don't do what I did and fill the pot all the way to the top with water. I probably should have used a bigger pot, but really, honestly, it's just time and temperature control. You don't, one of the biggest things that I like to remind people is that even if the recipe says to do something specific, if your equipment will not do that, such as the range that you're cooking on, if it's electric and you have to take something on and off the heat very quickly, you may have to alter the recipe a little bit so that
Going off recipe!
So that you can better control the temperature. If somebody in a recipe says to use a certain amount of a particular spice or ingredient and you feel, okay, yep, can you hand me none of those?
What's your gut?
This is fun. I'm getting my big pot.
You know, but your ass eating like you haven't taken the entire cooking time for Peas?
Huh?
Was was asking, do you mean like the oven taking the entire time to preheat?
Yes, pretty much. So we're gonna put this in a bigger pot. There we go. And I'll clean the rest up later. So, this is in a much more size appropriate pot with lots of room at the top for boil over. There we go. I'm gonna turn the fan up. Sorry guys. Actually, better idea. Stare at the pasta the whole time. You guys are fucking troopers. We'll figure this out eventually and someday. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so you see how the garlic's starting to boil? Sort of, fry, technically. So I'm gonna add, I turned it down to medium so that it doesn't burn, but I'm gonna add about half of the garlic in here and just kind of spread it out. Huh? Pan it up. Better? So now we're gonna add, I'm lifting it up off the heat a little bit because this needs to cool down because it was much higher before. So I'm gonna put the panko breadcrumbs in here, and I'm actually gonna smush the garlic down a little bit because I want it to break up into the oil. And because it's pasty, it'll smush better. Add a little bit more oil to this because I added a little bit more panko breadcrumbs than the recipe called for originally. Trying to break up the garlic so it mixes in a little bit more thoroughly. Get all the tiny pieces.
At least we're not cooking duck.
At least we're not cooking duck. You can just watch me smash garlic.
Slower.
Ooh, I got a sizzle. That was nice. So you can see how some of this, you guys, good flip. You can see how some of this is turning like kind of a golden color. I'm trying to toast the breadcrumbs because this is going to be our topping. So I want it to have that golden color, but I don't want it to burn. So I have to watch this very carefully to make sure.
Wait, we're watching you smash?
We, yes, you are watching me smash. Yeah, so you can see down here, there's like a little bit more golden orangey color. That's kind of the color I want most of this to be. So I'm just gonna keep spreading it out. You want it to be in an even layer, otherwise it'll cook, but it won't toast. I'm just gonna keep breaking this up. Let that sit for like a minute while I consult the books. We're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. Pinch, big pinch. Freshly ground pepper, whenever possible. Get yourself a pepper grinder, don't be afraid of it.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Because it is not scary. It is.
Pepper grinders normally seen as scary instruments.
No, people are just really lazy and would prefer to buy the shaky pepper, which has a whole other consistency, and you don't really get very good texture. Same thing with like table salt. Like I really prefer to have something with a thicker texture that I can control, as opposed to something thinner that is easy to put more of than you need to. So you can very much more easily over salt or over pepper things if it's in too small pieces. Okay.
Drink break.
Drink break. Who all's drinking?
Real mature.
Heckin' mature. Who all's drinking with me? Inquiring minds and whatnot. I mean, I know it's...
Scotty says that he has plum wine.
Ooh, I've never had plum wine before. That actually sounds really good. Is it literally wine made from plums, or is it just wine that tastes plum flavored?
It's the former.
That sounds really good. All
Like
right.
drinking candy.
Ooh, I mean, liquid diabetes. All right, so we're coming back down here. So we've got our toasted stuff. It says to put this on a plate, so that's what I'm gonna do. Gonna go right onto this sucker. Look at it. It's so pretty. I'm gonna set that aside for now. Because what it's gonna have me do now is start cooking the pasta and make the sauce. So a lot of stuff is gonna start to happen really quickly, as recipes do. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cooking the tortellini and the peas, which I have left in the freezer because they're supposed to be frozen peas.
Smash those peas.
So this is actually something that I learned from my dad, who makes the most awesome fucking tuna casserole, and whose recipe I have unabashedly stolen. He puts...
Why not fresh peas?
Why not fresh peas? So peas are one of those things that you could actually totally get away with cooking from a bag, frozen, and like one of the only fucking vegetables that you can do that with that is considered acceptable. Otherwise, you should use fresh ingredients. But because the reason that we're using frozen peas for this is because we want to cook the frozen peas with fresh pasta. Fresh pasta takes almost no time to cook. So we want the peas to be defrosted and like fresh and bright. We don't want them to go, mushy. And we don't want the pasta to go mushy. So we put them both in at the same time, let it come up to a boil for like 3-4 minutes tops, and then we drain it. And we'll save some of the pasta water for the sauce. So we're gonna get this back up to the boil real quick. Okay. Oil, garlic, flour, cream cheese, pasta water. Whisk it all together. Salt, pepper. Cool. Yeah, which is literally all the rest of the ingredients. So, oh crap. So one of the things I forgot that I wanted to do with these breadcrumbs was to put thyme in it. So at the end of the recipe, it always, for Dinnerly, it always gives you like an extra credit thing you can do. That's way off kilter. Cool. For this one, it says you can add herbs to the panko breadcrumbs. I'm gonna add French thyme from Penzies, because Penzies makes the best shit.
French thyme. It's time that gives up.
Ha! I really, really want Ben Mace to be a part of this stream just so he can laugh with me. So I'm just adding, I'm not measuring this at all, I'm just shaking as much as I feel belongs in here, which is quite a bit, to be honest. And I'm just gonna mix it in. Honestly, it should toast with the breadcrumbs, but it's fine. The residual heat from the breadcrumbs that are cooling will maybe do something, maybe it won't. It's cool. And we've got some smoke coming off the pasta. This could stand to go a little faster. All right. How's everybody doing? Is anybody cooking in their own home tonight? Or have you already cooked your dinner for tonight?
Frying Pan 55 says they're good.
All good.
Blue shirt says TTT and 1MP up in here.
What up, what up?
Crash Man says they made popcorn.
For dinner or as a snack before dinner? Because I won't judge you if you had popcorn for dinner, but, you know, maybe eat something that's actual food. Alright, we are not quite at a boil, but I can tell by, maybe a little difficult to see with the lighting, but the way that this pasta looks to me, it's starting to get a little bit translucent around it, and because this is fresh pasta, I don't want to overcook it. So I'm going to crank this shit all the way up and just get some bubbles out of it, and then I'm going to take out some of the pasta water and set it aside. And we're going to
Cider with popcorn pasta.
Technically, it is edible and therefore food. However, maybe, where's your cheese? There is a distinct lack of cheese in that recipe, and I am therefore disappointed. All right, so now we got some bubbles. That's what I wanted. So I'm gonna take a measuring cup, and instead of dumping this out, I'm just gonna lean it up against the side and just collect a whole fuck ton of pasta water. I'm not gonna use all of the pasta water that I get out of this. I'm just gonna use enough to make the sauce the way I want it. But I wanna have more than I need because I am gonna dump the rest of this out, and I wanna make sure I have enough. So, killing that. I'm gonna use my new fancy strainer thing. Clip on the inside. I'm gonna go dump this in the sink. Another thing you can do is drain it all but a little bit of the pasta water, and then just dump the whole thing in a pan. Now, ooh, that's hot. We're gonna swap these. Bring this shit up. So, now we're gonna make the sauce. So, we're gonna put in the rest of the garlic. And the flour. And this sounds like a roux in the making if I ever heard it. Garlic, oil, flour. Yep, that's exactly what that is. Okay, so we're gonna put more oil. And this pan is already very warm, so I don't really have to worry about that taking too long to heat up. Yep, I can hear that sizzle the second it hits the pan, so I'm gonna dump all that in. And I mush it a little. Smash, as it were. tiny pieces. It occurs to me now that I probably could have put this into like an actual garlic press and gotten like much smaller pieces out of it, but I'm dedicated to my cause. So I'm actually going to turn this way down because I also don't want the flour to burn because this pot is actually kind of hot. So we're gonna stir this around, make sure everybody gets to know each other, the flour doesn't burn. Kind of drag it around until you get some creamy liquid consistency. I'm gonna add, I believe this is the point where we add the pasta water, if my thing will open, there we go. Cream cheese, pasta water, cool. So, cheese, and this is also more cream cheese than the recipe asked for, but it sends it to you in tubes, so I just used all the tubes because we have regular cream cheese. I'm gonna add a little bit of pasta water in here, just a little bit to give us some liquid base here so that everything doesn't burn. And I'm gonna keep adding liquid to this as we go. It's way better to start off with less and work your way up to more. It's really hard to take it back once you've done that. So it actually tells you to whisk the sauce. So I'm gonna switch out here. And pour more of this in here. And we're gonna start whisking. And I'm using a silicone whisk this time because I'm using a non-stick pan. And I don't like using a metal whisk on a non-stick surface because then you can more easily scratch it over time. There we go. So this is now turning into, it's kind of lumpy for the moment, but we can add a little bit more pasta water to thin it out, make it a little creamier. Because I want us to crank this up to fucking medium high. But I'm gonna go a little lower than that because I really don't want this to burn. I'm gonna add the rest of the pasta water. And just keep whisking. So now it's kind of watery, but you can see the starch in the pasta water has kind of soaked into the flour and the cheese and everything and kind of thickened it up a little bit. If you're making pasta, it is always, always, always a good idea to save the pasta water and add it into the sauce. It'll help the noodles get more cohesive and the sauce will adhere better to the pasta. If you just throw sauce in with no pasta water, then you risk it separating and then you have pasta and sauce that just slides right off the noodle, and that is disappointing to everybody. Smooth and bubbling. That's what they said. So now we're going to season with salt and pepper, and we're going to add the pasta and the peas back into the pot. We're going to give it a good solid pinch. Both. Whisk it in. Now we are going to get this pasta into the sauce. Yeah. Lost pea. Okay, so now there's a little bit of pasta water left from inside the pasta pot, so that is also going to help. I'm not going to toss this because it's extremely full, but I am going to kind of stir it and fold it in on itself. The pasta itself is cooked. There's no meat inside the tortellini, it's just cheese, tortelloni. So I don't really have to worry about like undercooked meat or anything inside. What I want is to make sure the pasta dough, the pasta itself is cooked. So it's like not gummy or anything like that. So at this point, all that's really left is the cheese and the breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs are more of a garnish, so those are really going to go on like at the end. And I'm not really going to put any cheese on top of this pasta. I'm literally just going to put all the cheese into it, because that's what I feel like. I'm also fairly certain that I think there was only, I'm gonna look for sure. Oh, yeah. It gave us 3 pieces of Parmesan and I used 4. So technically I used more cheese and more sauce and more breadcrumbs than the recipe called for, but feeling fat today, so they can suck it. This looks ooey and gooey, and I'm a big fan. So now the sauce is like this gooey, cheesy, like look at that drip. Gooey, cheesy mess that we will top with breadcrumbs when we plate, which is gonna be right fucking now. All right. So first we're gonna clean off our space because we are fucking adults. Turn off the heat. That.
X has followed you.
Ooh. Thank you so much for following me.
We've also put up a suggestion box.
Ooh. I like that. I always like suggestions. Sometimes. Depends on who's suggesting them. So now, I'm gonna grab my fancy plates and a regular plate. And I'm gonna plate them both up so that I can try one and take a picture of the other one later. Alright. So, first things first. We're gonna plate center, trying not to get crap on the sides. With pasta, I usually like to plate from the center and kind of push it out to the sides. Curse me. Need another bowl. Because I'm feeding 3 tonight. So we'll do this evenly portioned, because I'm not a bitch. Yeah, this got really cheesy, and like some of the cheese on the outer side has kind of crisped up a little bit, and so it's got that kind of golden brown color. And I'm so about that. Alright, so we're gonna give this one more top. Then I'm gonna grab some peas. So I want a little bit of color on the top. Yeah. Ooh. Found some peas and garlic. Nice big chunks of black garlic on the top. Whoop. Ah. Things we do for our food. Alright, so now to the fucking good part. So these are our breadcrumbs with all the fancy herbs and shit. And all I'm gonna do is I'm literally just going to sprinkle it right on top. No mercy whatsoever. I'm using every fucking breadcrumb on this plate between these 3 dishes. I am not going to use all the breadcrumbs in this moment because I still have to take a picture, so I still have to plate this like I'm not going to eat an entire third of what I just made. So I'm going to set that aside for now. Actually, no. I'm going to put the breadcrumbs in here. And because this is the one I'm going to taste so that I can prove that I didn't try and kill anybody. Fan off. Alright. Moment of truth, guys. We're gonna need a spoon. My spoon is too big. Alright. Nah, it's gonna be really hot and I'm gonna regret this.
Look at the camera while you eat.
I have to make sure it's not gonna burn my mouth first. It's like literally, yeah, because it literally just came off the stove. Oh, fuck. That's really fucking good. The black garlic was definitely a good choice. It's a lot sweeter than regular garlic, but it's a lot more flavorful. The peas are crunchy. They pop in your mouth. They're not like mushy and gross. The pasta's cooked properly. The cheese inside the pasta is cooked properly. The panko breadcrumbs aren't overdone. I definitely taste the thyme in the breadcrumbs too, and that was a really nice suggestion. This was fucking excellent. This turned out really goddamn well. So, if you guys want to see more, you guys are already on my Twitch channel. Please subscribe, follow, share the amazingness that is PoleChef. Find me on my Facebook group. Find me on YouTube. Find me everywhere, except in person, because that's weird. Unless I invite you, then that's fine. And if you guys want to have a say in some of the shit that I cook, then you can subscribe and pay me, and then I will. And we can cook whatever the fuck you feel like.
Before we do that, we have to get to 50 followers. So
we're at like, what, 14?
16.
Oh, shit. So we're at 16 followers. I need 50 before I can start collecting any kind of like subscriptions or anything. And at that point, I will start doing special requests. I will start bringing in guest chefs to cook with me. We'll cook your grandma's blueberry pie or whatever the fuck. And I don't know, maybe we'll even have a jingle.
You see more of me too!
Maybe I'll bring him into the kitchen.
Sorry, I was in the kitchen.
How dare you. Alright guys, well that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know it was a short one, but have a good night.
Tuesday, 8 o'clock.
Tuesday, 8 p.m. It's going to be every Tuesday. I can't not do every week. I can't do that to you guys. So next Tuesday, I promise I will post the recipe further in advance than 2 days. So you guys will be able to come cook with me.
Thank you everyone who showed up.
Thank you guys.
Good night.